It's worth spending a few minutes playing around with the drawing screen to create a screen environment which suits the way you work. In this video, I'll talk you through moving and resizing the windows in the drawing screen. I'll also show you how to hide and reveal the various windows. The drawing screen is made up of multiple windows. You can move most of the windows, such as the instructions and 3D model windows. To move a window, click anywhere on the bar at the top of the window and hold down the left mouse button. You can then drag the window into a new position. Don't release the mouse button until you're happy with its position. Using this method, you can have windows floating over the top of the drawing area. If you have a second monitor set up, you can even drag the window onto your second screen. Just hold down the left mouse button to select the window, and then drag it onto the other screen. The precise direction will depend on the way your display is set up in the display settings. Another way of repositioning a window is to use the docking points around the drawing area. When you hold the left mouse button down and drag a window around the screen, various docking points will appear. When you drag a window over one of these docking points, a blue rectangle appears to show you where the window will be positioned. To select the docking point, simply release the mouse button while the cursor is over the docking point. BuildingWorks will automatically dock the window in the chosen position. When you reposition a window using a docking point, the window is placed outside the drawing area. You can also resize the windows. If you hover your mouse over the white border between the windows, the cursor changes to a double-ended arrow. Hold down your left mouse button and move your cursor to resize the window. The adjacent window will be resized too. Once you're happy with the size of the window, release the left mouse button. You can show and hide various windows on the drawing screen from the Views and 3D tab of the ribbon. Go to the Views and 3D tab and click on the Window button. A drop-down menu will appear. From here you can switch on the 3D model, layouts, layers, labels, properties, instructions, extra items, spec, and navigator windows. Simply click on the name of the window you want to show on screen if it isn't already ticked. The window will appear by default as a tabbed window alongside any other windows which are currently ticked on the window drop-down menu. You can move between the windows by clicking on the tabs. The Layouts window allows you to create, edit and switch between multiple layouts and views of your drawing. You could, for example, use the main drawing page to draw plans and elevations of the existing building and proposed project, all on one drawing page. From this layout, you could then create separate layout drawings to show only the existing building and only the proposed project. From the Layers window, you can control which layers are visible on screen and which layers appear on any printouts. For example, you can switch off the floor and ceiling layers once you've finished drawing them. The Labels window contains a list of labels, including room, layout and elevation labels, which you can select and drop onto your drawing. The Properties window displays a range of additional technical information about the components selected on the drawing, such as dimensions and U-values. The Instructions window contains step-by-step instructions on how to draw or insert the component or item you have selected. The Extra Items window allows you to quantify additional items relating to the components selected on the drawing, such as walls, roofs and floors. The Spec window shows the specification of the components selected on screen, such as walls, roofs and floors. And finally, the Navigator window provides details of all the components on the drawing and allows you to select the different components. If you right-click on each icon, you can delete, rename or find the component in the estimate. If you wish, you can renumber all the items by clicking on the A to B icon on the Navigator window toolbar. To hide any of the windows, you can untick them on the Window drop-down menu. Alternatively, you can click the Close button on the top right of the window. You can move the tabbed windows by clicking on the bar at the top of the window and dragging them around the screen. You can place them in a floating or a docked position. The windows will remain tabbed in their new position. If you want to view a tabbed window on its own, right-click on the bar at the top of the window. Then select the Float option. Once the window is floating, you can move it into a new floating position, or you can dock it on one of the docking points. If you're using multiple windows simultaneously, you'll probably want to have some of the windows stacked on top of each other and accessible via the tabs, otherwise you'll run out of space on screen. If you want to return a window to the tabbed position, drag the window on top of the other window and select the central docking point. BuildingWorks will automatically stack the windows on top of each other. If your windows are docked, you can also pin them to the side, the top or the bottom of the screen so that they auto-hide when you're not using them. This is a good tip if you want to maximise your drawing area. If the window is docked to the left of the screen as it is here, it'll be pinned to the left of the screen. If the window is docked to the top of the screen, it'll be pinned to the top of the screen, and so on and so forth. To pin a window, simply click on the pin icon at the top right of the window. To access a pinned window, simply click on the relevant tab. To unpin the window, click on the pin icon once again. Another way of extending your drawing area is to minimise the Project Explorer pane on the left-hand side of the screen. Simply click the arrow at the top of the Project Explorer to minimise the pane, and then click on the arrow to maximise it once again. You may from time to time want to view a window full screen. For example, if you want to take a detailed look at your 3D model. To start with, you'll need to ensure that the window is in a floating position. Once it's floating, the Maximise icon will appear on the top right of the window. Click on the Maximise icon to view the window full screen. To minimise the window, click the Restore icon. You can hold your mouse over the icons for a reminder of what they do. Why not have a play around and familiarise yourself with moving, docking and resizing the windows yourself? Try the windows in floating, docked and pinned positions and see what works best for you. Remember, if you have a second screen plugged into your computer, you can drag the windows onto the second screen. For example, you could drag the entire tabbed window onto your second screen, or just place the 3D model window onto the second screen. If you find you've got into a mess, you can always click the Reset Layout button on the Views and 3D tab. This will reset the layout of the drawing screen to its default settings. Once you've clicked Reset Layout, the windows will be restored to their default size and position. Over to you.